patient come with euthanasia is the real appreciation for human life. In addition, for the example that you made, the miracles, think about its possibility. It's nearly 0%.
Alright, thanks for your rebuttal, Pro 2. Now, for the first speaker of the pros team, could you please stand up and present your second point?
Euthanasia should be legalized as it removes burden. If the patient is in hospitalization for years, there will be an economical problem and a mental pressure. For the economical problem, have you ever imagined how much money it will cost? Taking care of the patient requires a lot of time and money. For example, the average hospital charge of the United States is $12,292. And for the mental pressure, just think about the patient's family. It would be a great stress to them to watch their loved ones suffer. It is extremely tough to watch the patient in a terrible agony.
Thank you very much. Now, Cons, you may present your oppositions. Okay, you may.
I want to rebut each under 2 points. For the financial problem, let's think about what's more important. Is money prior to the family member's life? I would say life is much more important. Not only that, haven't you ever heard of insurance? You can have lots of benefits from the insurance. Additionally, for the mental pressure, the person who is watching the patient's death will feel somewhat guilty.
Thank you for rebutting. Next, the first speaker of the Cons team. Could you please stand up and make your second point?
Our point about euthanasia is that it is up to the patient whether he or she wants to do euthanasia or not. In the case of passive euthanasia, when the family chooses euthanasia for the human vegetable, the patient's thoughts are not taken into account. Thus, there is no way we can find out if he or she would allow euthanasia to be applied. That is clearly an infringement of human rights to decide the matter of life and death.
Thank you for your point, Cons first speaker. Then, for the pros team, do you have any objections?
Of course I do. I strongly disagree about the point that the Cons first speaker mentioned. The family can recall the patient's attitude to her death when he or she was healthy. The family should know something about that at least, shouldn't they?
That was a good mention, Pro 2. And the first speaker of the pros team can now stand up and make the third point.
Euthanasia must be legalized because it is an opportunity to donate organs to other urgent people who are in need of organs. For example, January of this year, a boxer, Cheo Sam, had to die with a brain death. However, it was not just a tragedy because he contributed his organs to 6 patients. Although one person had to die, 6 people could retrieve healthy life.
No, I really don't think that's the point. It's just unfortunate. One person needs to sacrifice for many people. Furthermore, does Cheol-san even know that he had donated his organs? Cheol-san's family doesn't even listen to what he wanted. He might have wanted to keep his organs forever.
You're just thinking it the wrong way. There's a golden opportunity to live for other people. Although the patient's life is gone, the organs of the patient are still operating healthily in other people's body.
Alright, it wasn't very nice to intrude when the other person was talking. You should wait until the person who speaks finishes her speech. Well, now the first speaker of the Cons team may introduce the third reason.
Euthanasia must be prohibited because doctors' duty is to help the patient recuperate. But killing the patients, that is not what doctors should do. Now I'll read the Hippocratic Oath, which is a formal promise made by recently qualified doctors. I will neither give a deadly drug to anybody if asked for it, nor will I make a suggestion to this effect. As you can see, doctors must save patients' priceless life, not killing the patients with euthanasia. Euthanasia clearly challenges the basic principles of medical ethics as shown in the presentation. On top of that, if euthanasia is permitted, doctors would give up saving the life of a patient, even though there may be a probability for the patient to recover. Therefore, euthanasia makes doctors irresponsible.
Thank you for your point, Kaoman. Then, is there anything to rebut on this? Yes, you may go on.
Okay, the opposing team just said that doctors must help the patient recuperate. However, doctors' duty is not only to save the patient's life. Doctors should reduce patients' pain and let them feel peace. It is a torture to leave a patient alive.
Well, doctors cannot predict firmly about the patient's condition and whether he or she would die. Doesn't that mean the patients have the prospect to be healed? Besides, if euthanasia is legalized, there would be a decline in the level of medical care, as doctors would not try as hard to cure the patients.
Thank you for your speech, Pro 1 and Con 1. Now, I'll briefly summarize this debate. Okay, 3 points were made from each team. The proposition team asserted that euthanasia should be legalized because it can end the pain, remove burden to the family, and make organ donation possible. On the other hand, the opposing team claimed that euthanasia should be kept invalidated because of the importance of life, human rights to decide about death, and a doctor's duty to save patients. Before we mark the end of our talk, I would like to make one more comment. Life is the art of drawing sufficient conclusions from insufficient premises. It is now the time we make those sufficient conclusions about death. Therefore, we think euthanasia should not be held unless there is absolutely no alternative hope at all. This is the end of our debate, and thank you all for sharing this afternoon with us.
Thank you for sharing your ideas about euthanasia. This well brings a moral question. Let's think about that. Now the next team. By the way, have you applied for international middle school?
Yes, I have, but as you can see, I failed the entrance, so I kind of have a grudge against it.
Well, maybe next debate will change your mind. 희재윤, 미은지, 김채윤, 정지윤, 정진성 will debate on the establishment of international middle school. Let's hear what they think about it.